This is the middle of the west line. Today is December 29th, 2014. What I wanted to do is document the fridge line as it stood here before we went into 2015. So we have the charger station for the perimeter electric fence set up right here, and that is a 10,000 volt charger, 6 joule, and it's powered by marine batteries. One marine battery will last about 7 days, and that works really well. And here is our fridge line, and I'm just gonna walk down it to document the evolution thus far. The path has become very worn, and everything, the woods is starting to open up. This here is our lumber yard, and what we do is when we fell the bigger pines and then we mill the rough cut lumber, we bring it over here and set it up on these pallets to just open air dry. And if we know a rain event is coming, we just go ahead and cover with the tarp to break the rain off of it. And then this is just like I said, to preliminarily dry the lumber, and then we will transport that to the house, put it in the garage where it's a lot lower humidity, a lot drier, and we'll allow it to dry, further dry there. Fridge line here just goes ahead and progresses towards the east. But the main thing to note here right now is how much thinner the lower brush has become. The goats have grazed this whole area, and the reason we've done that, of course, is to knock some of the underbrush down. And the main thing was to start opening up this middle area that had thin amounts of overstory canopy and start making it into a middle meadow area. This was dominated by the lichen reindeer moss, and so we've gone ahead and we've opened this up and thinned and basically just hand raked, no tillage, just hand raked the moss back, and we'll compost all the top layer we raked back and just overseeded with some annual ryegrass and crimson clover, and I think there's a touch of yellow sweet clover in there, as well as a little bit of Dutch white clover. One of the nice things to know here is the edge effect we've created. This is going to stay thick. This is a little oak thick, and I'm going to go through here and thin some of the scrappier pine trees and smaller oak trees, but this is going to stay an oak thicket, and the goats will graze that 2-3 times a year. Slowly thin that down further, the lower brush. The main reason is we want to create a nice canopy here with dappled sun to keep the ground cooler. As we progress down the fridge line here, this area over here is also going to be made into basically joined with this part of the middle meadow. We'll go all the way over here in a circular pattern and come back up, and we'll be able to plant into there whatever crop we decide, whether it be cowpea, sun hemp, lab, anything that does really well in our area, provides biomass, nitrogen fixation, nematode control, and soil build. A lot of this scrappier trees will be thinned, and the meadow will be extended into there. So we'll have one really nice big middle meadow here that's going to be about a ½ acre, and then there's a little bottleneck that goes through there that'll be planted well meadowed, and that'll head to the back northwest corner where that will be planted as well. So we probably will have at the end of it a nice 1 acre plot to plant into. And of course it's not going to be a regular square or strict circle shape, because we want to create as much edge effect on the edge of the trees as we can, because that's where you can put your other more permanent perennial species. So the fridge here has now been turned into a composter, and it's composting down nicely all the scraped or raked back top level debris, and we'll compost that down, turn it, compost it, and eventually rescatter it over the whole section here. This is just a temporary tent we have set up so we can store some tools out of the rain, but you can see how that opens up, and that's going to be the bottleneck meadow, the meadow to the back northwest corner. And as we progress further down the fridge line here, we're the midline. You can see this hasn't evolved very much, but the path is certainly getting worn, and this will take us out up over the ridge and all the way to the east eventually. But this is where we're at right now for 2014. Not much really slated for in here anytime soon, so this is going to stay pretty natural. We do like the amount of oaks that are here, so we will definitely make it a priority to thin, keep the bigger oaks, again keeping the sun off the ground. But this area in here up on the ridge is going to be opened up, and the house site is going to be created over in this area. So that's the plan as it stands right now. The goats are going to come down the south line. Eventually we will graze them across this ridge up into the northwest corner. But here is the fridge line here, and we're getting to the end of it. Again, not much has happened here at the front. We're trying to keep the front of the property maintained to a certain degree, but more natural and thick for a couple of purposes. Keep the sound off the road down, and also the dust. The dirt road creates a lot of dust, and don't want to cut all our trees down because we want to keep some dust control. This is where we stand as far as the fridge line for 2014.